There's a lot of videos out there about the best credit cards for gas purchases, but not everyone nowadays owns a gas-powered car. A lot of people are now switching to EVs. So today we're going to talk about the best credit cards that we can use for EV charging. My name is Sean, and I'm here with my co-host.
Hi, everyone. I'm Sherwin. Today on the Credit Card BS podcast, all about the best credit cards for EV charging. The first thing to note is that EV charging generally codes differently from gas stations. So just because a credit card is giving you X percent back or X points per dollar spent at a gas station does not mean that if you use that card, you're going to get those same multipliers for EV charging. They're considered different types of purchases. That being said, there are several credit cards that do offer now this as a good category you can use to get more points, starting with, ironically, the Costco card. The Costco card offers 4% cash back on both gas and EV charging. Now, generally, I don't recommend the Costco card because the sign-up bonus can range anywhere from nothing to a tote bag to a rotisserie chicken that costs $4.99. So, you're going to be way behind if you just get a different bonus. But for those of you who do have Costco card, this could be good for EV charging. Sean, thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, you pretty much summed it up well. It's kind of the case of like, it sucks without a sub because it's like, you're really losing a lot of value there. But I mean, hey, if you got a fleet of EVs or something, then maybe it could make sense for you.
Yeah. Now, the next card, and I actually really like this one, is the Citi Premier. And this offers 3x points. And this is great because those points are transferable to airline and hotel partners. Citi has a pretty good list of them. And it's uncapped and limited. So if you just have massive gas spend, like your trucker, for example, or you have a lot of EV charging spend, because they've now added EV charging to this, earning unlimited X transferable points means it might be like one of the best options out there.
Yeah, I agree. Especially because you have, the sign-up bonus of the Premier. So it's not like a wasted card to get. You have unique transfer partners with Citi. So that's really nice when you unlock those. Totally, honestly, like really makes sense to get this card, especially if you do think you're highly likely to be approved for it. I have the Premier. I like it. I haven't really used the points for anything yet, but eventually I'll use the points for something, I'm sure. Yeah, highly recommend it.
Okay, the next card on this list is the US Bank Altitude Connect card, and it earns 4x points on EV charging up to $1,000 in spending in this category each quarter. So that averages around less than $400 per month, I would say. This was interesting. The Connect card used to have a modest annual fee. They've since changed it to a no annual fee situation. My understanding is it's not actually 4% cash back directly. Those points are only worth 1 cent per point if you redeem through like their travel portal or something. And then otherwise it's like 0.8 cents per point if you cash it out. For my memory is hazy of this card because it's not really on the top of my mind as one of the cards I would get. But yeah, Altitude Connect is an option. And also you have to mind the cap. I mean, if you're not spending that much on EV charging per quarter, which most people probably aren't, it could work, but be wary of the point value.
Yeah, that makes sense. I really don't like cards when they do this, where they make the multiplier really high and flashy, and then to redeem the points, it's like, there's nothing really.
And they have no transfer partners. Also, those points don't combine with like an Altitude Reserve, where you get 1.5 cents per point. They're independent in their own bucket, so just keep that in mind. Sean, you want to talk about the Wells Fargo option?
Yes. So Wells Fargo has two options. One is the Autograph, where it earns 3x points. And Wells Fargo is now interesting because their points actually do transfer, right? And so that's that is something that is interesting because, okay, now you have transferable points again. Wells Fargo is definitely a new player in this area of transferable points. They don't have a ton of transfer partners yet, but they have a pretty solid, roundup of them. They have a partner from each of like the major airline alliances. They have Choice Hotels at a 1-to-2 ratio. So it's actually like 6x points you'd essentially be earning on your, if you transfer out to Choice, which can be pretty good.
Keep in mind this 3x category is on the no annual fee Wells Fargo Autograph card, not to be confused with the $95 annual fee Wells Fargo Autograph Journey card. However, my understanding is that those points all combine if you have both.
Good point, yes. I think that's pretty useful, to be honest. Just, again, anything that's transferable is always just a lot more interesting to us in the space, given that there's
Absolutely.
actual like increased value you can get instead of just like a flat fixed cashback. And then they also have the Attune card, which is 4% cashback. Sherwin, is there a cap on this card on the Attune?
I don't think so. It's pretty good. And I think I need to double check on this, but the Wells Fargo, Active Cash, which is your 2% cashback credit card, allows you to transfer those cashback into like points on the autograph journey, transfer out. So I suspect might be the same for this one. So, that's pretty exciting. You can get essentially 4x transferable if you have both the no annual fee Attune card and like an autograph for an autograph journey.
Interesting. Yeah. There's definitely a lot of interesting cards in this area that seem to pretty competitive multiplier / rewards for this category. I mean, I think it's because it's one of those categories that people think they spend so much money in maybe, but they probably don't. I'm not familiar with the current pricing on EV charging, but I can't imagine it would be that bad. I think
Well, people usually get EVs to save on gas. So
yeah,
it's not going to be that much more than gas.
Exactly. Yeah. Otherwise, it's like, why am I?
Yeah. The last one on our list is the Bank of America Customized Cash Rewards Card. This is an interesting card where you can pick like from one of their select categories and earn 3% back on that during your selection period. So EV charging is one of those options you can earn 3% back on. But what makes this more interesting is if you have a bunch of assets with Bank of America on your high end in your honors tier, this 3% becomes effectively 5.25%, which can add up to a sizable amount of cash back if you happen to have high spend in EV charging.
Yes, it is interesting as well. Like, I'm not familiar with what exactly the other categories are, but 5.25% is actually very significant. The only thing, Sherwin, do you know if EV charging accepts mobile wallet purchases by any chance?
It depends. I would say many of them don't. For example, if you go to like a Tesla supercharger, how it works is you enter the credit card number on your phone, and then when you just plug it directly into your card, it knows what card to charge. So, I'm sure you're thinking of like the Altitude Reserve, which is no longer available to new applicants, but earns 3x points on all mobile wallet purchases. The points are worth 1.5 cents each when redeemed for travel via real-time rewards. So that's effective 4.5% back, which is very competitive. So, but sometimes mobile wallet's not really possible with EV charging. So then like these types of cards that we talked about today can become quite relevant.
Interesting. Yeah. I think for me overall, if I had to like pick a card out of these, I would probably pick the Citi Premier, just given the side up bonus, transfer partners, good multiplier. That's what I'd go with. How about for you?
I agree. Generally the pattern we're seeing is like 3x transferable currency versus 4% cash back. And I would pick the 3x transferable currency just because I know I can get outsized value for that. But for a lot of people who prefer simplicity over, like trying to learn travel partners or whatever, 4% cash back could be a good option. So let's wrap up this episode for today. So these are some good credit cards for EV charging we've shared. Did we miss any? Let us know down in the comments below. If you enjoyed today's episode, please give it a like and subscribe to our channel. And if you're interested in applying for any credit card, please consider using one of the links down in the description below. It greatly helps support the channel. Sean, why don't you plug our Discord?
If you want to connect with an elite group of award travelers and credit card enthusiasts entirely for free, check out the Travel Lane Discord group at the link in the description. You will learn a ton, I promise you. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next week.